This week on In the Epic Shop, Paul springs into action. The Ginger punches a tie rod.
F off!
And the first of our two-door Jeeps gets a Metalcloak lift.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. The day has finally come where I can stop driving a stock Jeep. Needless to say, we're gonna do some different things. As we did talk about in the podcast and the videos when we got these vehicles, we're gonna do completely different setups. Mine, we'll walk around and show you what I got going on. Let's take a look at the parts that showed up. We've decided to try the Metalcloak stuff on a different level. We're not gonna just do your basic setups. So here, we've got their 2.5 front and rear springs for a two-door. So I'm gonna stay low to the ground, low center of gravity build, gonna fit a 37-inch tire, which you saw in the last video we mounted and balanced. And then we've got a lot of extra bells and whistles to go with it. We've got all their isolators they use. We've got the adjustable bump stops. Maybe we won't use any of those, so we don't have any bump stops, more flex, you know. We're gonna try out their Sumo bump. These go in place of the factory squishy bump stop. It is definitely harder, and I imagine it crushes at a different rate, but we have those for the front and rear of the vehicle. We've got the rear sway bar links and their new HD Premium front sway bar link. That looks like it'll take a beating. So we've got those. And then over here, we've got always donuts in the shop, and this is their HD steering with the Fox stabilizer. So we're gonna start there. We've got their billet clamp and the steering stabilizer mount. The other thing we're gonna do, we have weld-on control arm skids, basically. So this is gonna weld onto the front control arm mount on the axle, and it'll just structure it more to take abuse, because we're gonna do a lot more wheeling in the Pacific Northwest and in the rocks, other places with these two doors. So we're gonna add a little bit of extra protection than we usually do. We always have donuts here.
Is that like necessary?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's how they know we're in Canada.
Yes, we're definitely in Canada.
Top it all off, we got a bunch of gold parts. So we've got a full set of the control arms and track bars, all in gold. And then the shocking part, Metalcloak 6-packs. A lot of you have no idea what this is. That's understandable. It's like a hidden secret in the off-road world that when you know, and you either like them or don't. And I am dying to try them. So these shocks give 15 inches of travel. If you look, we've double shaft here and here. It's like you took two shocks, flipped one, and taped them together, because they both extend and collapse at the same time. So you can get a much smaller shock fully collapsed and a much longer shock fully extended. Yes, there will probably be some maintenance involved, and maybe they need to get rebuilt every once in a while, but this is probably a better option to try than a coilover for reliability and quietness. But we're gonna give these a try because, well, they look like nothing else I've ever ran before. And just to protect them, we got some shock skids. We got all the added parts to mount them because they mount differently. Those are gonna be awesome. So we might as well just get going because daylight's a burning.
Yep.
Okay. Now, put this on.
This one just went right on.
Oh, nice. All in all,
Want to get it going?
hey, look over here. Look at me. Look here. See? These are the nuts that are going on my vehicle. They went on the last vehicle. You can actually go out to Mike's vehicle, not now because he's on vacation, and these nuts still look like this.
Years later.
Years later in salty Canadian climate. Dacromat coating. Seco makes them, and they just look like this forever. They were designed for salty winter climates. And I don't care if my nuts aren't black. I just don't want rust on my nuts.
How can you even use that one naturally?
Blowing up balloons, I thought.
Looks like we're pressing in those so that you can easily replace these. Here, hold this wrench.
Yep. You want me to
Put it here.
Yeah. Hold on a second. Let me get okay, go.
This is gonna be suck ass.
Go for it.
Fuck off!
My finger.
Oh!
Are you okay? It's all good. Where's the piece?
I don't know. Because I punched the tie rod. Okay. There we go. Flexy, motherfuckers. Now that we've finished installing the Metalcloak flex joints into our diff, we're gonna take the liberties and add some protection to our control arms. Because we're gonna be lower to the ground, we're not gonna run an enormous tire. I wanna be able to run into things without worrying about it or slide, or so I can't mess up these brackets, which are much beefier than the previous generation, but they're gonna be much beefier when all welded together into this piece of armor that'll slide over stuff. Have our buddy Ben from next door, he's gonna do some grinding and some professional welding, because I can't do that. So when he's done, we can continue the lift kit. So Paul's getting the arms ready lengthwise, because if you don't have the, well, if the arm is not the right amount of length, it's just not going to get the job done. Hey. So we're going to make sure that these are set properly, or as close to we will get an alignment, I promise. We're going to put in new upper and lower control arms. They're going to go in, and then after that, we're going to probably drop out the shocks and coils and do that. Well, there are no coils in it right now. Oh, all right then. That explains a lot. I didn't even notice that Landon took the coils out.
I told you, he's trying to give you as much room.
I didn't even notice. Try this. Okay, so we've basically gotten the suspension pretty much done. We did the track bar and the drag link on the ground, so we didn't have to try and figure out where it was sitting. All the springs were sitting really nice on the ground, which means we're pretty bang on our arm adjustment. They'll get a little bit adjusted when they go for the alignment, but for now, it's pretty much almost bang on. I'm gonna go through, tighten everything, tighten all the jam nuts, paint mark everything. I'm gonna test fit the drive shaft to see if I can modify this one to work, because I'd love to try that by changing out the Zeppa joint like we do on the 4xEs. Then we're gonna have some fun probably with the forklift if we can get this steering stabilizer to work. You may notice the weather's a little grimmer than when we were originally working on this. I am obviously wearing a different outfit. The Jeep may have some other parts on it. Don't focus on that. Those are coming in a later video. What we're doing is making sure you get to see something similar to the footage that we did shoot previously that our filmographer decided not to save. It happens. Technology is not always your friend. Let's get with it. On here, we have finished the lift about a month and a half ago, and we thought we'd flex it out again right now. We haven't fully dialed in this vehicle yet because we haven't been off-road with it. So we may add or subtract bump stops front and rear. We're gonna do some trimming. Obviously, we're gonna do some fender modifications. That's why I still haven't put an inner fender in a month and a half. I only have so much time in the day, and we can only film so much during that time. Under this, you can tell it's not Terraflex. We are giving a shot to some new stuff because realistically we want to get back into the rock crawling thing. We want as much articulation as we can get because we already limited us to the size of a two-door. So we're gonna have some fun with it, and they're basically gonna be like our toys. We have all the gold hardware. What is this kit in mind? Because we're gonna put a different one in Paul's. You'll see that in a later video. This is Metalcloak's 2.5-inch game changer system with the added HD steering, upgraded sway bar links, and to top it all off, their infamous 6-pack shocks. Now, let me tell you, these shocks are amazing. I'm aware that I'm going to have to maintain them and they will need rebuilt sometime. As an off-road enthusiast, that's kind of expected on certain parts when you run coilovers and all that kind of stuff. So the fact that they may need servicing doesn't bother me at all. What it does do is give me a crap ton of flex at a much lower stance. And I want to have a very low, capable two-door Jeep, kind of like a Spider, pretty much. You can look in here, because of Metalcloak's coils, fully hanging, they're not loose. They're not gonna fall out. That's because their whole coil bucket method that compresses at the top. You'll see my 6-pack shock just has a ton. I guarantee there's more travel left to that shock, but we don't have enough weight on the vehicle, and a forklift will never show you what it truly can do. You need to lift both corners like using a CTI trailer like Metalcloak has, or just out on the rocks and testing it out. We have all the control arms that came with all game changer systems. We also changed out the bushings in the front diff to have the Metalcloak bushing in it, so it's much easier to switch out, plus more articulation. The joints are quiet as can be. They're known for being no maintenance and quiet and self-centering, and that is what this thing is doing. I can't wait to get this out on the rocks. We have a few more weeks of stuff to put on it, some more videos to shoot before we do that. Next year is gonna be fun as hell. If we look around here, it's using a Fox steering stabilizer with the setup. We flipped it up out of the way. I'm hoping down the road we're gonna see a Metalcloak black one. If you get up under here, you'll be able to see I've almost fully compressed this one coil, yet we still have travel on the 6-pack on the other side, which we're gonna walk around and take a look at. If you get up under here, you'll still see the 6-pack has more to compress on the bottom and the top, so we still can compress more. The only thing usually limiting your compression is the amount of shock shaft you have left, the bump stops you're running, making sure that you don't tear your fender off. Well, we still have, I can still put my whole hand around here. So, and we're gonna modify these fenders, so we have lots of room to work with. Who knows, maybe I'll run no bump stops and we'll just fully stuff that thing right into the hood. In the rear, it's a little different. Obviously, we changed out the coils and all that other stuff. We've got the 6-pack nicely here. We're gonna tear out all this fender stuff in a later video. That'll be fun to watch. And as you can see, we're not even fully stuffed here because we just can't put enough weight on that corner while we're lifting this. Because I have no back seat in, I have no storage in there yet. The goose gear's incoming. We got no steel bumpers. So there's a lot of weight I don't have, so it's not really operating the way it should. But don't worry, we have lots of weight to put on this two-door. You have now seen what I did to the suspension so far. We'll probably do further things to it in a future video, but for now, I can't wait to get this dialed in, Jeep finished, out on the trail, scraping the rocks. Don't forget to like and subscribe. We have this two-door build series, this dueling system, so we're gonna have videos on each going for a while. We have tons you haven't even seen yet that are sitting on the shelf. In order for you to keep on track, you gotta be subscribed so you get notifications. Why we keep doing this is to entertain. If you think anything else you think you'd like to see us do, please write it in the comments. We love seeing the comments. It's a blast. I'm gonna go get some pizza.
So at least we get an accurate measurement of some kind down here.
Jeez, almost hit myself in the face again. Ah, don't tell me I can't get it around. Fuck you, bitch. Okay, come on, almost there. Oh, that's hilarious. Okay, so let me just, whoa.